And then a big announcement came, and I think I saw that announcement. What day was it? Last week you announced it? Success? Money in the bank? Why? Why close it when you're doing so well?
So I have wanted to close a few times. I guess sometimes we want to close our businesses when they're in a shit time, don't we? We're like, why am I even doing this? One of the times I wanted to close my business was when I was really struggling to be the leader that I wanted to be. I could not to get to grips with it. I want to give a little bit of credit to Jez. He actually got me in contact with a coach that really helped put a mirror in front of me and see the responsibility that I had. And I said to myself, I wasn't the manager of the salon at that time. I said to myself, I'll come back into the salon and I'll manage it myself, no manager, for a year. And I'll get my team back on side. And if I can't make it work after a year, I'll get rid of it. That was my plan. It was the best year of my business, like really becoming the leader I wanted to be, winning them back. And then I thought about maybe closing it in lockdown. I had a terrible lockdown at the start, just like everyone else. But then I had the best financial year of my life in 2020, as well as being online bullied. But it was the best year and the worst year of my life. And I recognized that I had a whole different thing that I could do in my life where we could travel and have this amazing life. But the idea that COVID would stop my business, because COVID was stopping it at the time, I just thought, no, I can't let COVID win. I didn't want to be another casualty of COVID. I wanted to prove that I could get that back on its feet. And there was a lot of hairdressers really looking at me at that time for guidance. I was running a course called Post-Corona Course, which was guiding people on how to get them back into the industry after being closed. So I woke up at Christmas and literally from nowhere, obviously it'd been a conversation at some point, and I just went, yeah, I'm ready to close. I want to close now.
You said that to yourself?
To my husband. Else. I said that to my husband.
Jurel, yeah.
And you know what my husband's like? He went, yeah, all right. So fucking chill. My husband's like, really, how can I describe him? He will say yes to anything, not in a passive way, not in a way like he'll do anything I say, just in a like, yeah, let's go and have an adventure way. Like he's always like, yeah, let's do it. Yeah, let's do it. And I love that about him. So obviously that was a hard time. That was absolute turmoil of going like, okay, what does this look like? What does it look like financially? What will it cost to close? What does our life look like without that?
What did it look like?
Well, one of the biggest problems I was having is I'm running a membership group at the moment, right? I've got 220 members on there and I answer questions all day, every day, don't I? There's some people in this audience, they know that I do that. So what people don't realise is they see me as a salon owner and they go, yeah, it's really hard to be a salon owner. I say, yeah, all right. But imagine being a salon owner and then having 220 people asking you questions every day about business, social media, life, everything. And then having 4 global ambassadorships that you have to produce content for, that you do quotes for, that you do all that stuff, and then being a global keynote speaker and traveling the world, and then having a property portfolio that you need to manage, and then judging competitions for free all the time, and everything that I do. So I'm not just a salon owner. I'm trying to balance being a salon owner and all of these things. And my membership business was about to grow huge. And I looked at how big I wanted my membership business to be, and I thought, something has to go. I have to remove something. Otherwise, I'm going to end up not right. I'm going to struggle.
But not Another Salon was earning good money. So that's a hard thing to let go, isn't it?
Another Salon was earning okay money.
What about your team? So there were people like Norman, there were Harry, big players in the industry. I think we've all seen them. How did that affect you, seeing these people that you've nurtured and their talent and their own fame on social? Did that have an effect on you? Team going, keeping team? Did you feel the spark?
Not really, because the last few members that I've lost were with me 7 and 5 years. Like, it's fair, isn't it? Like, you gave me time, I gave you time. So that's a fair deal. All I ever want, and when someone comes to work for me, is what's in my hand is equal to what's in your hand. And the last few people that have left, it's been a really fair deal. You absolutely helped me in my business and helped me earn money. And I helped you in your career and helped you earn money. So I wouldn't say there'd be any, it's been quite easy people moving on the last few years.
You've always promoted yourself almost like a bit of a family, because I hear people talk about Salon and they're my family.
Yeah.
Are they our family? Are they our friends?
Well, they always say they are, and then you never see them again.
That's why I asked.
Oh my God, stay in touch.
Yeah.
Everybody stay in touch, do they?
Who agrees with that?
I couldn't swear that one was my friend. I swear they really liked me, and then I never bloody saw him again. You're nodding or no sometimes. This last team that I've got right now, I would say we are closer than is what you probably should be as an employer, I would probably say. But that's probably because the last 12 months, they've become so senior that I just don't really have to do anything. They do everything. I mean, I'm so privileged. Even arranging the party this week, it was literally, I said to my mum, I was like, normally I run around going, hey guys, sorry, come on guys, please, can you help me do this? Sorry guys, can you help me do that? Doing this party this week, literally, they just all did it. I didn't have to do anything. I didn't tell them what to do. I didn't tell them how to do it. They just got on with it. And I thought, wow, I'm actually genuinely leaving this company in such a good spot where I'm no longer needing to overhang them at all. They've got such a sense of autonomy over their own jobs, and they know the brand inside out. I don't even need to lead them anymore. So I'm very proud of the leadership that I'm leaving right now.
Well, what about, again, just me getting to understand your business? Did you leasehold your shop? Was it a lease? Or
so that was a recent closing. Yeah, so my lease is due up next year. And I definitely need to redecorate the salon. It's a bit, it's hanging hard. It's a bit tired. So I know that I need to renew the lease for 11 years. And I know I need to spend about 60 grand on it. So that started to be a thought. Like, do I want to put more money into this business? Or because I've got several other businesses, do I want to put that money into a different business? That was a factor. And as far as decorating it, I just want to be super honest. Like, I do look around and I think, it's the dream of 26-year-old Sophia Dom. Like all of that, the decor and stuff, it's fun. But I feel like I'm going back into an old version of me when I walk in every day. It doesn't feel like it represents me anymore. There's still elements of Not Another, like the ethos and stuff. But in general, I do walk in and I go, I feel like it's just... And then I was like, should I make a classier version of it? Should I polish it up a bit?
What about selling it?
What about selling it?
I'm thinking that Not Another Salon, surely.
This is the biggest question. Why didn't you sell it? I mean, it feels so obvious to me. I think it's a really weird question, but everyone wants to know why I didn't sell it.
So you didn't sell it?
I didn't sell it. No, I just closed it.
So you walked away, Not Another Salon.
Yeah. So one, right? I want to take Not Another with me. Let's not forget, Not Another is Not Another Academy. It's been Not Another Social. It's Not Another Art Team. Like, Not Another was always supposed to be the brand. I bought notanother.com many years ago and it cost me a fortune.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, right? Because I wanted Not Another to continue as a brand. So and I've heard this story loads from famous hairdressers, they sell their salon to someone and then what happens? They just watch it die. They just watch it die in front of them. Their brand just gets sabotaged. And yeah, I might get 100 grand for it. I might get 200. I don't actually even know the price. But to watch my little baby just die as opposed to go out with a bang, no money will replace that.
I find it really sad that we don't sell our businesses though.
What do you think?
Because I know Sean Hanna, I interviewed him on the podcast, and hairdressers don't seem to sell for me.
Really?
Yes.
But listen, Dom, I'm telling you now.
If Trevor Sorby sold their brand now, or
Fine.
Brooks and Brooks sold
but Trevor Sorby hasn't worked in the company for a very long time, right? So if Trevor Sorby sells Trevor Sorby, they're not used to seeing him around. They're not used to being detailed and mentored by him, having by the side and hand-holding through jobs. So it's different, right? But my team work for me. Only me. They want to work for me. And I knew they'd leave. Well, I thought they'd leave, but I didn't know. And when I said to them, I'm going to close the salon, but I want to ask you a question. If I'd have sold it to someone, what would you have done? And every one of them went, we would have walked straight away. So I would have sold a business, conning someone. They all would have walked, and then maybe you'd have to redo it. But then it wouldn't be Not Another Salon, would it?
How did they all react to the news?
They were really good, actually. A few of them, I would say, needed a kick up the arse to do something new, but were really complacent. So by me closing the salon, they were like, Aaron, he's been with me 7 years. I love him to death. I think he's deep down wanted his own little business for a while, but he's just never really got the confidence to do it or whatever. So we've been building a salon for him this last few weeks. In fact, my husband was plumbing in his plumbing this morning, and we did a swap. He helped me clean out the salon whilst we plumbed his salon in.
What do you feel though when you see him going into opening up a salon?
I love that.
But do you look at somebody opening a new salon and thinking they've got an exciting future ahead of them?
If they took all my staff and they were 3 doors down the road, then absolutely not, right? Different kettle of fish. But if you've worked for me for 7 years, you doing your thing no longer affects me, and I get to support you. We've given him loads of stuff for the salon. We've put all his mirrors in, knocked all his walls out, done all the flooring or whatever. What a privilege that I can give that gift to him after 7 years of service. Isn't that a beautiful ending to that story? And then all my girls, they were all working together down the road. They didn't want to. I don't know if I mentioned this to you, but I actually I negotiated their contracts before I even told them the salon was closing. I called up all my friends' salons around the area.
And negotiated.
And I was like, what's the best deal you can do? They can bring you in 100 grand a year. They can do this, they can do that. You can do better than that, blah, blah. And I just started negotiating.
Who did you recommend? Can I ask?
Adam Reed, Neil Moody, Trevor Sorby, Samantha Cusick, Stay Studios, Electric. The list goes on. There was a nice big list. Brooks and Brooks was on there. Salons.
How did you feel personally when you came to this decision? How did you feel inside?
The hardest thing was I was really scared to talk to them. I was really, really scared. I was up till 4 o'clock in the morning. I was just feeling sick every single night. Once I told them, everything was fine. But up until that moment, I think I was at 3 months of turmoil, 3 months of wanting to throw up every day, just being like, yeah, that was very scary. And then once they knew, everything was fine.
Talk me through Saturday. How was Saturday? The last day of Not Another Salon?
We had pole dancer. We had pole dancer out on the street. We had... some of you guys came, thank you. We had a drag queen, and we had, like I said, all the team just pulled together, put the party together. Bladen, my manager, made a speech. Coming back to that question, why didn't you sell it? It would have been nice to sell it to Bladen, who's been with me 7 years, been my manager.
But why? Why not?
Because he wants to be an underwear model. He's a dancer and he wants to go back to dancing. He's got his own dream. He doesn't want to live in my shadow anymore. He wants to go and, this is his time to make his dream, his time to change, to do something scary.
So do you think for some of them as well, there maybe is a sense of relief for change for them as well?
Totally. Yeah, 100%. With the exception of a couple of them, my 3 girls actually, they all struggled for a little bit. They were all panicking, I would say. But I tried my best to lay everything out. And interestingly, they all went to the salon that I'd already had an hour meeting with that boss down there that I knew, not my friend, but I knew her well enough. And I'd already come to them and said, this is what the commission is. This is how it worked, blah, blah, blah. And then I set up interviews so they could go to there. Just wanted them to feel super safe in that period,
Who is excited now for the next part of Sophia's journey? Yeah, right. Let's go to it. The first thing that you have said is you want to prioritise time with your family.
Yeah.
Why is that important? How would that look?
So even though I've been doing all these things I've been doing, I'm pretty proud to say that I would say 4 nights a week, like weeknights, I managed to get home at 6 o'clock for baby bedtime. I have done that since my baby was born. I'm really proud of that. Even though I wasn't a stay-at-home parent, I'm not a primary carer. My son likes to tell me, I am close second best, but it's okay because Daddy spends more time with me. And that's okay, He is the primary carer and I get that. But, I've always spent every weekend with him. I haven't worked Saturdays since the salon was open. But I don't know. I met my husband traveling. I didn't meet him traveling. I don't know if you guys know this. Some of you do. But basically, I met my husband in the back of a taxi. And we spent 14 days together total. And 14 days after being in each other's presence, we moved to Madagascar, living up a mountain. And we lived in Madagascar rurally, like with illness, with poverty, with all of those things. And we traveled 6 countries together. And that's how we started our relationship. And traveling is something that's in us. And when we met, we were like, oh my God, yeah, we're like backpackers. Like, we're not 5-star people. We're going to travel the world for the rest of our lives. And then life happens and we never did it. And every single year we said we were going to do it, we were going to do it, we were going to do it. And we didn't. And then we had this mad idea about 3 years ago in bed after loads of vodka. We said, why don't we go away for a whole year and split the profit of the salon between all of the staff as long as they promise to stay? Because I thought, we don't need the money, we just need it to still survive. But yeah, after feeling it out with the team, I recognised how much they were just there for me. And I think we would have lost the essence of it, so we decided not to do it. So, what do you want to know what I'm doing? Is that what? Sorry, I went off track.
I think, you're talking about prioritise it with family. There's been a lot of people saying, well, you're just going to go off to Bali and have a wonderful time. Yeah. And I just seen you in Australia, showcasing your work in a swimming pool. This work? I taught a course on this. Is this how life is looking, where you're teaching from a swimming pool?
I would like to teach a course in a swimming pool in the jungle. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
And sometimes our social, that can be a little bit challenging, isn't it? We look in and suddenly like, oh, look at Sophia. Is that aspirational to us? That here you are?
Maybe I don't always care about that every moment. Maybe sometimes it's just about me.
Okay, but you're sharing that, so it can't be just about you. Because you're sharing that with people.
I don't know.
But I think that's okay, isn't it?
I guess so.
You're sharing a dream. Dream maker?
Dream maker is my new idea, yeah.
Is it okay to look at the aspirational side of the industry? Should we look in and say, look at her, sat there in Bali, having a wonderful time?
I don't really care what people think. I mean, I do, but if they want to have a bitch about me living in Bali or teaching in Bali, that's their problem, isn't it? That's
going to come in.
Didn't you do a social post like earlier this year or last year? I can't remember. And it was like, people will always be jealous of what you've got, but they're not jealous of how you got there.
Yeah.
And that's the point. And I just think anyone who's sitting there thinking, yeah, it is because you've worked your backside off, right?
That's right.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Do you want to know the logistics of what I'm doing, though? Because I feel like I haven't told anyone the logistics of what I'm doing.
Yeah, come on then.
So I've got 2 months now working on the digital side of my business for the next couple of months. That's going to be very, very busy. And then I'm taking a motorhome with, it's my dad's motorhome. And this is another driving force. My dad said, I'm getting rid of the motorhome next year. And you never, ever took it away. You always said you would and you didn't. And I thought, Jesus, I did say I would and I didn't. So I'm taking my dad's motorhome, me, Jarell, and my son, and we're going to go across Europe. I don't know how many different countries, but we're going to loop around. I could probably do about an hour work a day digitally. I'm on the WhatsApp and I'm answering people's questions a lot, but I quite like doing that. I like answering questions when I am like one step away from the problem, because you can be like the helicopter over the top of it, right? Not in the weeds. So, but that is a holiday, right? And that's not really working. That is a holiday. That's 6 weeks across the summer. And then I come back and I am smashing it. I've got keynote speeches, Salon International, massive shows in Spain, like photo shoots. Like I can't even tell you how big this 4 months is. I'm working hard. And then January to March next year, I found the most amazing place. It's, I don't know if I've told any of you guys yet, but basically it's 35 to 50 business owners who work digitally that come to the same place at the same time. And they all work in the same workspace and the children all go to the same school. So basically we drop our kids off in the morning and then we all go to the workspace, tap, 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 tap. And then if we can, we finish at 3:00, we pick up the kids and we go to the beach. And it's just incredible. And there are people all the way around the world living like this and we don't even know it. It's a real thing. But you know, you have to let go of one thing to see that there's something else available. And it's incredible.
So where is your financial income going to be coming now? Where's that?
So at the moment, my main financial income is online, and it has been since 2020. That's what people don't think. They go, what will she do? And they forget that the salon is just one thing that I do.
Still doing hairdressing?
Sorry?
You're still doing hairdressing?
I am, yes. So I'm still doing my client base once a week at the moment. When I'm in the UK, I still do my client base once a week. I'm working at 2 different salons, which would be nice to do hair without anyone bothering me. And then I've still got my ambassadorship, so I'll still be producing content. In fact, even harder, because my salon used to produce the content, and now I have to. So now I'm going to be hiring in models and doing models off the street. So I'm going to be doing more brand work than ever before. So that's still going to be done. Even in Bali, I've already talked about creating a Balinese, cool fashion group, like a little pop star group, a Balinese girl with cool, crazy colour hair. I thought that'd be quite fun. Yes.
Are you stepping up your social content then? Because I remember when we had that little meetup, you were sort of saying, I feel like, it's getting a bit dated now. You want a better space to do your social content and how it looks and presented. Is that changing?
This is the thing, isn't it? Like to run a social media account, we've got 500,000 followers across all accounts. I've got to run all of those accounts, plus 4 ambassadorships, plus running a salon, plus an online company, plus social, plus keynote speaking, plus judging competitions, plus industry events, plus wow.
What's top of the list? What are you most excited about?
My new business launch.
Not another club.
So basically, I've been running a social media and marketing membership program for literally 8 years now. So I know how to do these online programs very well. And I know that there's a lot of sort of, people that sort of have a go in and out. But, this is something that I've worked on a really long time. And I've got some of my members in my room. Yay.
Ah, that's what you all are.
Yeah. But basically, the last few years, they have just been pushing me for more content and more help that's not social media marketing. So they're like, okay, can we do a bit more leadership? Yeah, absolutely. Okay, can we do a little bit more salon culture? Yeah, absolutely. Oh, can we get some financial experts in to help us with some of the money? Yeah, absolutely. And then I recognized just recently that we're more than a social media marketing group now. We're doing so much more than that. So I've decided to rebrand as Not Another Club. We've already got 220 members, which is pretty amazing. And I really had to tap in to what does the UK need right now? What does the UK really, really need? So basically, for one set price per month, you get access to 5 experts. And one of the lines that I'm using right now is, if you've got a dream, we've got a team. So the only reason I became as successful as I did is because I constantly had a team of people behind me. But I tell you, I had to pay a lot more than you would be paying on this. So we've got marketing expert, which is myself. I've got a business coach. I mean, this accountant's got 3,000 clients. She's amazing. I've got a colour specialist, Sarah Dunn. Our wellbeing mentor, who's here today.
Where are Sonia?
Hello, Sonia. And then a tech expert. One of the things that I recognise what salon owners need is someone to help them with tech. We're not very good at computers. We've got all these videos that we watch online, but how do you implement your WhatsApp, your email marketing, all of that stuff? And most of us can't afford to just have someone to help us with all this stuff. So essentially you pay one set fee and you get access to all of our coaches. I believe that you wouldn't be able to afford all of these experts. But quite honestly, I just know that the industry is a bit of a shit show right now, and I want to make this accessible. I'm paying £12,000 for a sales company to help me push this out to the industry, and all they keep telling me is this should be a few £1,000s. You're doing it wrong. You're going to regret this, Sophia. I have been told this so many times, and I have said, you've no fucking idea what our industry is like right now. I am more interested in servicing as many people as possible. So I'm going to stick with this method for as long as I possibly can and make it as affordable as I possibly can. Basically, we have webinars on pretty much bloody everything. I mean, we're doing money management at the moment. We're looking at commission structures at the moment, all of your social media, all of the marketing, and also anything just to help you through the emotional side of business, Tom. The one thing I've noticed is I can give people as much information as they like, but if they're emotionally not in a good place, they can't get through it, can they? So making sure, that's why Sonia comes on. She's amazing at helping us with the well-being side. I truly, truly believe If you guys want to look into it, if you guys that are listening now, you want to have a look into what we do, I don't think the industry has ever given so much for so little. I'm doing an early bird offer right now that's £100 a month, which I think is just absolutely crazy cheap. To have all of those experts, you're nodding away, thank you, darling, to have all of those experts on hand whenever you need them. There's a few of my guys in the audience. I don't know if any of you, I haven't actually prepped this, but does anyone have anything to say about how their experience? Anyone want to join it?
Come on, have a little say. Come on, yeah, let's bring that.
Go on, Kim.
So I've been with Sophia since lockdown. And to me, it's just on the payroll. It's like, I need the wellbeing support. I need the business support. I was going to close the salon after lockdown. I've been running my salon for 20 years. So to me, it's just part of my business now. And I'm just invested and I don't think I'll ever be leaving.
And you're just literally like every single time there's something that you need to do with your business, you pop it on the WhatsApp, you come on the live webinars and you just ask questions. Like, you're super interactive, aren't you? And you get the answers.
I'm really interactive. And actually, I've had a massive change in the direction.
Yeah, listen, this is my vision. Shall I show my vision? Do you remember 365 back in the day?
Absolutely.
365?
5-step recipe.
Right. So 365 wouldn't work now, right? It's too cookie cutter, blah, blah. But what it was at the time was epic, right? It professionalized the industry in a way that the industry really needed it. And I believe what we're about to do with this is going to do that. Yeah, there's webinars. Yeah, there's a WhatsApp. But there's a reason why some of these people are in the audience right now. And it's because they're my new ambassadors. And what they're going to be doing, this has not been done before, is I find a huge percentage of people in the UK, Dom, do not go on education because they're too nervous to walk in a room by themselves. So what we're creating is not just a digital thing, because digital is digital. We're creating a real life thing. So we're meeting up before events, aren't we? We're going for a little bit of breakfast together. We're getting more people to get involved in coming to UDOM and going to Salon International and going to Colour World, but doing it as a group so that they can actually be together and be more encouraged to go on other education, because we've got a support network of not another club members. And I think that's quite unique. Because I'm telling you now, 50% of my members really struggle to leave their hometown and leave their husband and children. They're mainly female, my members. And that's not unusual. So wouldn't it be amazing if we could create that support network that said, hey, don't let that education go to waste. Come with us. I love that.
How do we get on it?
How'd you get on it?
Yeah.
Well, I'm guessing there's going to be a link underneath this, but it's not launched.
Show notes.
By the time this comes out, it'll be 100% launched. It's going to be on my Instagram. It's going to be on the website.
And I'm going to be proud to be supporting this. And
yeah, shall we talk about that?
Yeah.
So through all these conversations, Dom has decided that he wants to be a partner in this project, and I am so proud to have you on board, because you are such an amazing person in this industry, and to have your backing on this project, I cannot tell you, Dom. Like, wouldn't everyone want to have Dom as a backing on any project? So
the £1 million contract was just too much to turn down.
I am so made up.
And I will tell you, by the way, we're going to have a little space coming into platform as well.
Yes.
Not Another Club is going to give us some exclusive content into there that we push it, because platform is very much about connecting you to the industry about everything that's going on, things like that. Because, as I said at the very start, I believe that we should have a fulfilling, successful, exciting career. And I feel like if we could provide the platform so people know all about this and it's a pathway in, then that's how we're going to fix this industry, which doesn't need a lot of fixing. It just needs a bit of chinking, and, it can feel a bit divided, and I feel like that's where we're starting to fight back and bring this unity together. So it's going to be
It's going to be big.
Right. If you've got any questions now, and I think, we've learned where you're going and the exciting. I want to bring you all into this if you want to. You don't have to. But we've got some notes that are made here. I don't know if you put any of these down.
Right.
Right, so questions here. And I don't know who these have come from, and apologies if I completely read this out wrong. Where do you draw the line of wanting to make other people happy and doing what's best for you? Great question. Who was that? Show of hand. Very good. What's your name, by the way? Danny. Thank you, Danny.
Can you put the microphone that way? Is that all right? What's the background on that question? Like, why is that relevant to you? just so I can answer that correctly.
I think sometimes I'm a bit of a people pleaser. So I feel like in the job role that I do currently, sometimes I'm doing what's best for them versus what I feel like might be best for myself and my family.
Maybe it's about choosing who you're trying to make happy and making sure they're chosen. There's that book about the secret art of not giving a fuck, right? But actually, when you read, has anyone read it? But actually, when you read The Secret Art of Not Giving a Fuck, it's not about not giving a fuck, it's choosing who you give a fuck about. Sorry, coming back to that question, it's choosing who you care about to please. I think that's the most important thing. It's okay to put, your child first or, your best friend first or whatever, but I think it's about making sure you choose who those people are important to you over all of the other people that really don't matter.
Right, I'm just going to fire through these because I think this is great. If you were to open another salon in the current economy, what would that look like?
Love this question.
How would that look like? Who's that come from? Reese,
well done. I've got a few concepts. Bougie broke. So I'd quite like to own a chain of cheaper salons, actually. I think that's quite interesting. I'm not precious about necessarily being high end. I think there's a variety of different people on different budgets. I don't know why we tend to slag that off. I think there should be different price services for different people. And I was really inspired by, and I can't remember the name, but I watched them at a talk recently and they had a fancy salon at one side of the road somewhere in the UK. And then they basically had their version of quick cuts down the road and they did both. And I love the fact that they'd got both sides of the market. So, if I was to do another salon, I don't know, conceptually, I'd like to try a lower budget salon. I would really actually like to do that. Bougie broke, I quite liked. Fur coat, no knickers, quite like that as concepts for names. I'm not saying you should do that, Reese. I'm just saying I would be interested in having a different type of model. I'm just interested in it, basically.
Right. There's so many good questions.
Yeah,
You're going to have to give quick, snappy answers
bang.
because they're really great question again. What's your purpose versus what pays the bills?
They're pretty aligned, Dom. They're pretty aligned. My purpose is making other people's lives that bit easier and happier, and I feel like that's what I do.
Who did that come from?
Yeah.
Thank you. Great question.
Yeah. I would say that's literally perfectly aligned. Yeah.
I changed my direction, but still have an element of hair. Will you still have that in your new chapter? Great question. Who's that come from?
Me?
Nice, Sam. Yeah.
I mean, look, I love doing my clients. I've been doing them for 15 years. That's not going anywhere. I've kept all my client base, plus loads of extras actually that have said, I still want you to do my hair. And I'm still going to be shooting. In fact, I reckon you're probably about to see me do more hair, to be honest. I think you are, because I'm still doing my ambassadorships and everything else.
What would you do if you weren't afraid?
I'm always afraid. Remember, I'll just to expand very, very quickly, I promise, Dom, the saying that I like to say is that bravery is not the absence of fear, it's feeling fear and doing it anyway. So I would say everything that you see me do and you think, oh, Sophia can just do that, I promise you, I am shaking and terrified of all of those big decisions. I just happen to make them as well.
Great question, this. Who has your back?
Who has my back? My husband, isn't it? Yeah.
Who's that from?
Yeah.
Sam.
He's kind of, my husband for sure.
How could you change how people become hairdressers in the UK? So how could we change, how people become hairdressers in the UK?
How can we change? What sort of change? Who's that? Who's that come from? Great question. What sort of change?
Bring a lot of young people into the hairdressing industry.
Yeah.
You've made it exciting again.
Yeah.
So now that you've closed your salon and you're not going to be having that hub there for new hairdressers to come work in a salon rather than colleges, what do you see next? The next big change to get hairdressers coming back into salons rather into colleges?
It's just I'm working at a different level in the tier, right? Because I was more at ground level before, and now I'm at the tier where I'm helping other people provide that, right? So I'm creating the leadership for those that create the jobs. So I just think I'm on a different level of the tier now in order to help support other people in bringing them in. I don't know the answer to your question, quite honestly, tomorrow, but I do know that I have an interview to become the chair of the Hair and Barber Council next month.
Right.
So whether I can take it or not, I don't know. I'm only going to take the job if I actually feel like I can add value, right? If I can't add value,
I think
do it.
that's absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
Personally, I think you definitely make
needed. Someone like you going into that area, definitely.
But I've got I already asked 30 questions and we haven't even got to the conversation yet. I'm like,
you've got a job on your hands. But, So thank you. Great question. What do you wish you have done better? So what do you wish you have done better? Who's that come from? Yeah. So what's that? Yeah. You could maybe just sort of explain that question there too.
My question is, looking back to what you achieved until now, there is something you wish you could have done better or different?
Oh, just leadership. Yeah. I've screwed that up more times than I can remember. Great intentions and, just didn't get it right. But I mean, I don't know how good your graduated Bob was in the first few years, but it was about as good as my leadership. It's definitely leadership. But do you know what the nice thing is about closing the salon with really good relationships with everyone? I just needed to close the salon on a good cycle. You have cycles as a salon owner. I just wanted to close on a positive cycle. And who knows, 2 years later, I might be in a position where I'm resenting it and it's and it comes back good again. I'm just glad that I am closing it when I feel like I'm the leader I want to be. And I feel like I'm a great leader now. And it might be cyclical. I mean, now I'm trying to lead a digital company and it's really hard. I'm learning how to be a manager of a digital company where I never see my staff in real life. It's really tough. So I'm about to learn some really hard lessons in digital management. That's part of the game.
Anthony at the back there, Gary, if you can go with the...
Hiya. Not necessarily for me, but it's a question that's come up a lot. We had high-profile hairdressers shut their shop, and they kind of just shut and disappeared. So well done for being the first to come out and be brave and be open about it. So thanks for that. I've had lots of conversations, and I shut my store down 10 years ago. Huge life change. There are a lot of people thinking about closing, being forced to close, desperately wanting to close, or find themselves at a business that's making them very, very unhappy.
Yeah.
And can't find that nudge to shut. When I closed mine, I knew I was unhappy. It was 12, 13 years ago, and I needed the bank to shut me down and woke up a new person. What advice for these guys who are really struggling to hang on to their business, to try and convince themselves to have their store? Because they can't see a life outside of it, that there is a future. What would be that moment of advice?
This question is amazing, and I'm so glad you answered it because we just had this conversation this afternoon, didn't we, Sonia? My hope, and I know this is true, my hope is that I will inspire some people to close their salons, actually. And isn't that weird? Of all the things I thought I would inspire people to do in my life, I never thought it would be to close their business. I thought it would be to open. But it's this. I am inundated with messages this week that said, Sophia, you finally made me feel brave enough to close my business. It's not making me happy anymore, right? And it brought me to tears. I even had someone come to me at lunchtime, the lunchtime I was closing, and said, Sophia, I've just seen it and I think I want to close. And later he brought his wife and I think his son, and he said, can you just talk to us a little bit more? We just need to get a little bit more strength to do this. I think, I would love people not to be plowing themselves into debt in a time where they don't need to be. Swallow their pride, swallow their ego, know that if it just didn't work out, it's okay. Something else will be there for you in your future. I love this question, and I really hope anyone that's listening to this will do the right thing for themselves and their family. And what I would hate is they dive themselves in further and further and further and further debt because their ego will not let them let go. And it is ego, not ego in an egotistical way, but it's our sense of self that won't let us let go. I really hope that will help some people, because I don't want to see people get into debt and spend 20 years trying to get out of it.
I think so many people forgot why they opened their store in the first place. It's nothing like it was meant to be, and they're just caught.
Some people open a salon because they think, well, it's the next thing to do and I don't really know what to do. And then they get stuck in it and they don't want to tell the neighbors they closed the business, because then their neighbors will think they failed. But what if they chose to not do that anymore and they wanted to do something else, and they open up a florist or a corner shop or something else that makes them happy? Does it have to be a salon? No, it's just whatever makes you happy.
Great question. Thank you, Anthony. Anybody else got a question and an opportunity, please?
So on the flip side of what was just said,
Yeah.
for salon owners that are on this want to not close and dig the heels in, what would you advise me there?
In what way? What you should be doing?
And we don't want to close, but it is a struggle. So what would you people are on that, do you state employed? Do we do self-employed? What can inject that?
What's right for you?
Yeah, like
What is right for you?
guidance as well, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely. I think what will make a difference in being a salon owner right now is a few things. One, interestingly, outlive the salons down the road, let them all close and be the last man standing. I know my dad's business. He said, I'm going to close, I'm going to go bust, I'm going to go bust. And then literally every other one of his competition went bust and he just went whoof and made so much money. So sometimes other businesses closing in your area is such a great thing. Self-employed, I do think it's something we have no choice but to look at. At the very least, I think we have to have options for our staff, because I do feel like if we don't have options, they will try and find options somewhere else. So I do not regret adding self-employed at all. Do I think that is a larger challenge on the market? And I think it's difficult for us? Yes. But right now, your concern isn't necessarily the greater good of the industry. Your concern might be just survival. And I do feel like you should do what's best for you. And then it's up to people like me who will sit on some chair, who will work out the bigger problem with the industry. What would I be doing? I would be outshining every other company. And I think you have to, I'll be honest, Stacey, I think you have to work twice as hard. I really do. I think you could sit on your laurels a few years ago, and now you have to work twice as hard to dig your heels in and outshine all of those other businesses. And
I think as well, you need to sidestep in the industry. Personally, there are so many different avenues of things that could just get you and your salon excited. Is it kind of going into your brand more? Is it? I just think it's how we look at how we maybe move. It isn't maybe always about the business. It might just be what we're doing.
To clarify, there is a lot of doom and gloom on the internet, but I also know a lot of businesses that are doing incredibly well. There's a lot of business doing really well, but we hear a lot of doom and gloom all the time. But there are some people that are really smashing it. And what I want to do with Not Another Club is I want to bring those people on and go, how are you doing that?
Yeah.
Let's, teach us that. Yeah. And that's why we're bringing on a lot of different people to do webinars, because she does that really well. She does that really well. He does that really well. We'll bring all those people on to teach those things to the rest of the group.
Look, we could keep going. And yeah. I've just loved hanging out with you, and particularly having this opportunity to do this very first How to Cut It podcast live. Not sponsored by anybody. It's just us doing a podcast and all your support by actually being here. And I think we've got something really special here. And I think we've got something really special with Sophia. And I think it's been an incredible honour to get Sophia to come and share this and, be open. And I just want to say thank you so much for Sophia coming on to doing this.